Greetings, welcome to Queen Elle TV. This is Elle. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, I meant to open up this video before going to the zoo today. It's Sunday, May 22nd. But I forgot. So you're about to see some brief footage and some images from our zoo trip today. It was a really nice day. Thankfully, even though it's been quite warm lately, today it was in the upper 60s, and the first day with a clear sky, slightly overcast, but no rain in days, in almost a week. So it was great. We were at the St. Louis Zoo, which is one of the last free zoos in this country. So it was a nice outing. Interestingly enough, since the pandemic started, the zoo has, since they're free, of course, they have adopted a reservation system where you reserve a certain number of tickets for the day that you choose to go. And it's their way of keeping track of the number of guests that are in attendance. So in the article that I read that the zoo put out, typically before this reservation system started, on a typical busy day, the zoo could see about 25,000 guests in that day. But with this reservation system, the zoo has been limiting the number of guests to about a max of 14,000 on a busy day. So I've known about this since the pandemic started, and I haven't been since the pandemic started. I would say my last time visiting the zoo was maybe fall of 2019. So it was really nice to get out. But and of course, myself and my two oldest sons, we wore masks. We had the baby, and he didn't have his little face covered. I had his head covered because of the cool air, and one of his warmer onesie outfits on, that like footed jammies. So I mean, he had a stroller, so and I just kind of kept him covered in the stroller. So he seemed to enjoy the fresh air for the most part, but it was packed. I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably just about maxed out at their 14,000. And the reason why I know all of that information is because I saw a notification from Google that told me that it was just an article for the zoo, from the zoo, and it said that the zoo was going to cancel the reservation system effective Monday, May 23rd. So that's tomorrow. So I was like, yikes. So when I saw that, I mean, I knew that I was contemplating taking the kids to go to the zoo prior to my surgery that's coming up next month. And because I knew that most of the summer for me would entail recovering from my procedure, as well as just building my strength again to be able to start lightly working out maybe towards the end of the summer. So I knew that as far as this season goes this year, and that's visiting the zoo, that my best chances of going would be to go, even though walking is a bit difficult for me right now because of my back and because of the hernia. It's a lot better than if I were to wait till after my surgery. You know, I didn't want to chance it. But when I saw that notification saying that the reservation system was going away tomorrow, I was like, yikes. So originally, as I said in a previous video, we were planning on going this past Thursday, but there was a huge storm in our area on Thursday, so I just kind of pushed it out to today, and today being the cutoff because tomorrow the reservation system goes away. So it was still packed. And something else that was interesting is, so I knew that typically at the zoo, you go through those turnstiles, but there's no attendant there because it's free. So you're just, just entering as you wish. and they're just time, restrictions. But I figured they must have somebody checking tickets, because when so you just go on the zoo's website and set up your reservation, and you pick the date, and if there are reservations remaining, then you can choose that date, and it just lists the hours of operation, and you get an email confirmation. It has what would be your free tickets basically attached, and the ticket has a barcode for scanning, and it says you can either print the ticket and bring it with you, or leave it on your phone to be scanned. So I pulled it up as we were um, approaching the entrance, and there was an attendant sitting there, similar to like Six Flags or any type of amusement park where you pay for attendance. There was an attendee there. Now, I did see a sign that was saying reservations required, and ask to speak with someone if you don't have a reservation. So I thought that was interesting, and I was thinking, what do you mean if you don't have a reservation? So are they saying you actually didn't need them after all? Because that was my whole point of going before the reservation system went away. Well, when I get the people who were ahead of me, I heard them talking, and somebody said, well, what do we need a reservation for? And then somebody who was with them said, oh, well, they've done that since the pandemic, blah, blah, blah. Well, I walked over to the next line, and because it was shorter, and when I got to the attendant, I was showing him my phone, and he was scanning it, and I said, now, I'm here today because today's the last day that you all are requiring reservations. And I said, are you all letting people in without a reservation? Because that is the whole reason why I'm coming today. And he said, no. He said, we actually still have some reservations remaining. So if somebody didn't have a reservation, then as long as we still have some left, then we're accepting them. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I also know they were maxing out at 14,000, because it would, even when you're on the website, you could see how many reservations were remaining. So I knew it was going to be a busy day, but still nowhere near as busy as the zoo usually is. So, I mean, when I tell you we were still kind of like shoulder to shoulder walking through places, and I was thankful that we had our masks on. And I received some masks from my father, some N95 masks. So I was grateful for that. And yeah, I mean, it's not really helpful when you're walking around to have a mask on. Being outside helped, but you just, as someone who is asthmatic, you just learn to kind of adjust your breathing to be more shallow when you're breathing, so that you're not almost starting to hyperventilate, which is possible. So that's what I was practicing, but it was fine. So we saw lots of animals. The majority of the animals were out, and that was great. Again, the weather was beautiful for this time of year in the Midwest. This is the type of weather that I love. I would love to be in maybe 80 max as the temperature wherever, but I'm not sure where that would be. So we'll see, but I would love that. So this was really nice. Yeah, that was about it. So I'm going to show some footage shortly. And then I'm going to close it out. So thank you so much for joining me, and check out this footage of the zoo animals that we saw. Okay.